Brazil is holding presidential elections this Sunday. How could this affect the United States? Our reporter spoke with an expert to find out more.
Left-leaning presidential candidate Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, better known as Lula, is challenging current President Jair Bolsonaro to take over the role as Brazil's head of state. If Lula succeeds, South America's largest and one of the only remaining conservative-led countries would tilt to the left.
Left-leaning regimes will occupy almost every single country, from the southern tip of South America up to the U.S. border with Mexico.
Marcos Schatkis is the editor-in-chief for the Epoch Times Brazil. He says socialist and communist movements in the whole region could be significantly strengthened if Lula wins, because he'll fund them as he did in the past.
So can you imagine the power these regimes would have to wage unconventional warfare against the U.S. should Lula da Silva get elected?
Schatkis says back in the 50s, communist countries China and Russia started the practice of using drugs to infiltrate and destroy Western countries. He says this practice is being continued to this day.
Almost every country, especially Cuba in Latin America, plays a key role in getting that strategy moving forward. Brazil has traditionally been a powerhouse in exporting drugs. It has ports and it has routes that have been used to get drugs to the US, to get drugs to Europe, and even to get migrants to the US border. So with Lula in power, we have a government that is traditionally aligned to all the regimes that have been making that happen. Somebody who was personal friends with Fidel Castro.
There's also the issue of rare earth minerals, which are used to make a variety of things, from fighter jets to microchips. Brazil has around 17% of the world's rare earth minerals. Russia has 18%, and China has 44%. Schatkis says Lula would bring Brazil closer to China, which will negatively affect the U.S.
So, the U.S. would have less access in the long run to strategic resources, and the rare earth minerals are just one example.
Supporters of Lula say Lula has been president of Brazil already, around 15 years ago, and they say the country didn't go down this path. Reporting by Arian Pastar, NTD News.